Hey, John here. So we got this 2022 Toyota Tundra, and we did a couple of moves here. We put a lift kit from Rough Country, a 3.5-inch small lift kit there, and some bigger wheels and bigger tires there. Turning radius on this truck sucks, first of all, but when I turn all the way out or in, it's rubbing on the stock fender or stock mud flap there, plastic. It's not a huge deal, but also the tire sticks out about an inch, which is no big deal either. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to come out on the camera, but you know, as the wheels, if you're looking this way, you can see they stick out maybe 1.5 inches or whatever. But getting a little bit of spray going on here. I just want to protect it from stones and whatnot. Like I said, this stock look I'm looking for, you know, with the no bolt hole. So it's not sure what the size is. Much bigger Fender Flare. Hopefully it'll take care of, you know, the tire will be under it, maybe even hopefully a little bit out from there, but we'll see. We do have to take some stuff apart, and there's some I think step one, we have to put this rubber gasket on the fender, so we'll do that. Yeah, let's get to work here. Alright, so the fenders are labeled on the inside there, and they want you to use this rubber gasket to do the top portion. I'll show a little bit of that, but there's a little you know, adhesive backing. We're just going to peel off and stick it on as we go, peel it off, you know, that kind of thing. Just go right around the whole top there. Alright, so the gasket can only go on one way, really. I haven't clipped it over here, but I left about 1/8 of an inch long over there. I'll clip it later, but I'm assuming they give you a little bit more than you need, and I'll clip it here about 1 inch longer. However, just reading ahead a little bit, it looks like we're actually going to leave the original fender flare on, because I'm reading ahead. It's, you know, saying removing certain bolts. I'll show you what I'm going to do, but so we're not going to remove that, but we do have to remove the bottom mud flap, or if you want to call it that, little plastic thing that doesn't catch any mud and just rubs on your tire. See, I got the wheels turned all the way to the left, so this is the rub I'm talking about. It's rubbing on the inside of there. I'm assuming it's not going to rub here, you know, because I got to take that bottom mud flap off, and I'm assuming that the new fender well, we're going to have enough room, but let's get the 10mm out. I think there's 3 bolts, and then there's, once we get the fender off, or the mud flap off, there's a bolt underneath. I'll try to show you that, but so the front, they're saying remove the top and the bottom. Okay, that's actually a mistake where I'm taking that bolt off. The bottom of the fender flare is actually the second to the last. The bottom bolt is actually on the fender liner. It's just underneath there, so that's a discrepancy there. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to use some of these fasteners, I'm assuming these two, but nope, I was wrong. Directions are correct. I removed the wrong bolt. This bolt is part of this. I thought they meant the first and the third, and they actually need to remove this bottom one that the felt is on, not the actual original flare. Top bolt on the rear. So we'll go ahead and remove that. Yeah, there's already crap coming out of there. Imagine that. Brand new truck. Should take this whole thing off. So there are some bolts up here that hold this thing on. You know what? I'm going to take this whole thing off right now, just to inspect that. It's just a matter of a few bolts, and then clean that up, because there's probably some debris in there right now. Clean that up good, because this other one's going to encapsulate it. I want to make sure before I go ahead and trap everything in there for good that nothing's in there, right? Yeah, so that's a good idea. It was a little dirty in there, and this truck has literally 2,000 miles on it. It's already got dirt on it. So let me clean that up too. And then even this in here has some stuff in there. And it's just these little, you know, after you get the bolts out here, it's just a matter of pulling that out. So now I'm wondering, do we actually need this thing on there? Can we put the, you know what I mean? Although I kind of want to stick with the directions. Maybe this gives it some kind of a rigid, you know, like makes it rigid. I don't know. But I do like that it's just a bolt-on. And if I leave this on there, we could take the other Fender Flares off if we ever want to go back to original. But regardless, we got to clean this up. And I'm actually going to crap that up with fluid film while we're here. Alright, now that we got that rubber on, it's nice and uniform. The next step is we need to mark these two holes on the existing fender. So it's saying press this in and using, you know, get the holes marked. So let's see here. These supplied little doohickeys here are going to be, you know, slid on the, once I'll mark it a little better, but these little J speed nuts, whatever you want to call them, they slide in. So supplied clip. So maybe it's a possibility that these, we're not even going to go into the original plastic. Maybe they're just going to sit there, and then we're just going to screw up, you know, because the screws don't even have tips on them, right? They're just, right there. So maybe it's just, let me show you. This is what I'm thinking. Just a mark where things are supposed to go, and then something like that, and then perhaps it screws into the side, and once you screw it in, it kind of clamps it. So I did not tighten this up yet, but you can see that it is perfectly sealed all around. I had a little bit of a wiggle there. I just took a little knife and it had a little indent and jacked it out a little bit. And this was the part I was, which is probably the indent. See how it tucks in a little bit? Oh, I see I got a, that didn't make it, so I got a, it looks like it fell off a little bit. Let's see if we can pry that out a little bit. Yeah, we're going to have to pry that out a bit and get that seal back in there. I see it's tucked in there. Let's see. It actually went down there pretty good. Not a fan on how this is discolored already. It looks gray. It's supposed to be black. It is black, but just in the light, I guess. Maybe it's a little reflective. But it's a seal. I do like that. And everything's good. Minus my... Alright, so we started that bolt, this bolt, and that bolt. And everything looks hunky-dory. And this is what I was getting at. So we're not actually going to go into the original fender, which is up here, right? This, you can see this bolt, or this speed nut there. So we're just going to take, and this is, I've got it pushed in hard, and it's probably hitting the original fender, or original flare, and we can probably poke that in a little bit. We'll start the screw there, same thing here. Let's look this way. I don't know what I'm looking at, but you can see kind of what I'm talking about there, right? And those are the originals. So that does look like it's going to trap a lot of shit up in there, but what are you going to do, right? Anyways, I do like the way it looks, the way it fits. It ain't sucked in yet, but originally we could see tire, and now straight up and down is like no tire. We had about 1.5 inches before, like this. If we go back here and go straight up and down, quite a bit of tire sticking out. So I do like that. I mean, that is just a really good seal around there. Again, Toyota just used plastic on the paint. This rubber seal, I like that. And it definitely looks factory. Even how it comes in, tucks in a little bit, wraps around. Even though I screwed that up, I was able to get it out. Still a good seal. Now if you can see that, you can't see nothing in there. So I like that. I definitely like that. It looks like a factory deal. Alright, so we're done here. So if I had to give it like a scale of 1 to 10 on, you know, the ease of this, you can't even give it a 2. I mean, it's like a 1. I mean, if that. The hardest part, again, I say the hardest part, the most, you know, if you have to pick something that's most difficult, it's not difficult at all. But putting this rubber seam on took the longest. It wasn't hard to do. It's just like, you know, you peel a little bit up, you stick it on. But I gotta tell you, these things, they came out better than expected. I mean, the fitment is just, I didn't have to do nothing. Everything bolted right up, and we just stuck it in there, and well, you kind of saw it. But even going down with the rubber, everything is, again, it almost looks factory. I say almost because we know it's not, but that being said, I mean, looking down, you know, my tires are hidden now. No more, well, hopefully no more rocks or, you know, mud or whatever is going to hit the side of the truck. But all in all, it's just a really simple, you know, if I had to say, you know, because if I had to do it again, 10 minutes per thing, because I know what I'm doing now. But other than that, you know, a couple hours you can have this done easily. And it probably took longer to clean the vehicle than it did to hook these up. Alright, well, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, yeah.